So when I first came to Karachi, I definitely felt homesick for quite a long time. Pakistan did not feel like home for a long time.
Makes sense.
But that was also, I feel like, because I was stopping myself from experiencing life. I don't feel home in California. I don't feel home in Karachi. I'm just like a
random person, like
nomad on this
nomad,
earth.
exactly.
Yeah. Finally, I have that kind of sense of belonging to Karachi.
Hello and welcome back to One on One by TB. This is your host Mehreen Basalat, and today the guest that I have is someone who's very hot, unstoppable and iconic as per this magazine that I have in my hand. Her name is Dr. Mehreen Enam. Hello Dr. Mehreen, kaisi hain aap?
Hello Tereem. I'm really excited to be on the podcast today.
We are very excited to have you as well. As I've already said it, Dr. Mehreen jo hai already ek doctor hain, and we will be talking about her journey, that how did she become a doctor, what were the struggles that she had to go through, and उनकी personal life के बारे में हम जानेंगे, like apart from being the medicine aspect and the doctor aspect, वो क्या करती हैं and what are the passions of her. So Mehreen, can you give my audience who are basically getting to meet you for the first time, tell them who you are and what do you do?
So my name is Mehreen Enam. I am a doctor, as she said. I am a US-born Pakistani, but I have spent most of my time in Karachi. I grew up here, so it's a very special place in my heart. I did my medicine here from Dow International Medical College. Gone on the USMLE journey, and I applied for the match, and alhamdulillah, I got my pediatric match this year.
Mashallah. Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, I'm ecstatic about that. So I thought it would be a good idea to just like share my journey, my advice I could give to other people, and just like have a fun time today.
For sure. Let's just start with the aspect of your being a doctor, because that's something which has become your identity, right? Like अब तुम्हारी एक identity बन चुकी है, and you can't live without it, and you can't you wouldn't want to live without it as well. But who would you say was Mehreen without this label? Like इससे पहले Mehreen कौन थी?
I have always been a nurturing kind of person.
Okay.
I was always someone who felt fulfillment from helping others.
Okay.
So going into medicine, becoming a doctor was sort of a very natural process for me.
Makes sense.
Aside from that, like I'm also a very creative person. Like in a world that's very rich.
Yeah.
Like I have my hobbies, like dancing, singing.
That's amazing.
Music. I love music. I feel like being a doctor is like one part of my identity.
Makes sense, yeah.
But there's so many other things about me that make me such a unique individual, and I really enjoy that about myself. Like I feel like because I have these other aspects of me.
That brings me to the question that was there any point in your life when you realized that तुम्हारी जो पूरी identity has started to just revolve around being a doctor and just studying medicine and all of that? Was there any point like that?
We all go through that, like med students, like when they go into medicine, everybody knows like you have to put everything on the back burner. Your personal life, your social life, your hobbies, they're not your priority anymore. Now your priority is like sitting and studying for hours on end.
Makes sense.
And and because it's a responsibility you're taking. Being a doctor is a really big responsibility.
Of course, that
so
is.
you take it very seriously.
Makes sense.
But unfortunately, I feel like when we lose that side of us, we just go into like burnout. I know like anxiety and depression is such a very like prominent thing in this kind of field. And I feel that's because a lot of people, they sort of lose sight of like, yes, this is a big part of your life. It's a really noble profession, but you cannot make it everything in your life because in order to be a good doctor, you also have to balance everything else in life.
100%.
You have to balance your relationships. You have to enjoy life, get life experiences that make you your own person.
Makes sense.
Because studying a book does not teach you stuff that the world can teach you.
The world can teach you.
So I felt like in the first couple of years of med school, I was very much just like my nose in the books. And I sort of did lose the picture. And then in the middle, like COVID also happened around third year. And I remember at that time I was studying for USMLEs, like my first step. It's a very difficult exam. It's like an 8-hour exam with it's a very like difficult like question. So it's like not easy.
We will be actually deep diving into your whole USMLE ki puri jo journey, and she actually matched just now, and we will be getting into that as well. But sorry for interrupting you. Please continue.
I feel like I went through some hurdles in my journey that sort of taught me that it's just as important to travel the world, you know, build your social support circle.
Makes sense.
You know, rediscover your hobbies. Like remember the things that you enjoy in life.
Makes sense.
Alongside your career, and that is actually what will propel you forward. Like a lot of people give up in the middle, because they forget that stuff, and the burnout just like, you know, just takes over their life, and they're like, you know, forget this. Let me just go into like a completely different field.
Makes sense.
So like, but for the people who really want to go into this field, I have a lot of advice for that.
You overcame the whole aspect of medicine taking over your life and identity by being a frequent traveler, connecting with people more and connecting with your hobbies, right? Okay, that's interesting. Coming to the pressure that comes with being a doctor, so did you feel like there are things about being a doctor that people romanticize more than they need to be?
So yeah, I think becoming a doctor is obviously a very high position. It brings a lot of respect, and I feel like a lot of people do attach their self-worth to their career. So a lot of people go into this field thinking like, oh, people will respect me and all that, and you get a decent income. You do get to have a nice lifestyle. So I feel like a lot of people do romanticize that side. But I also feel like there's a danger in like, you know, just thinking like very superficially. Being a doctor is like a lifelong commitment. I have had to sacrifice a lot, whether it be missing like my nephew's like first birthday or like graduations or like weddings. I've had to sacrifice that. I've had to really, there are moments you really compromise like on your mental health just because of the emotional toll, because it's a very, you experience very serious things. You experience death.
Of course.
Experience like, I'm going into pediatrics. So like I will be facing sick children and everything. So like you have to also take that into account that you need to be a very resilient person. Yeah, and going into this field, you sort of build that. I feel like doctors, once you make it to that level, you build such a like deep emotional resilience and confidence in yourself. Really, really difficult journey.
For sure.
Yeah, so like I know a lot of people who give up in the middle. But
it's not something to be romanticized.
I don't think you should romanticize anything. I feel like whatever your passion is, that's great. But I do definitely understand why people romanticize.
And was there like a moment where you feel like you were comparing yourself with other people's journey while becoming a doctor, and maybe you felt like you were being left behind somewhere?
Personally, in my like academic journey, I don't really compare myself to others because I know how hard I work. I might not be like a stellar student, like. Actually, a lot of people go into medicine are like very good in their education, and sort of medical school like hits them with like, you know, their first like failures.
But that's the thing, na, like most of them are really, really good. So that brings the comparable, like आप आपस में एक दूसरे competition level basically high कर देता है.
बहुत competitive.
So competitive हो जाता है, right? So there wasn't any point where you compared yourself with other people's journey and caliber and things.
I never really like looked at scores. Never really like tried to compare like GPAs.
That's really good for your mental health, actually.
Specifically for my mental health, because I'm like, I don't really care about this stuff, because I know me. I know me, and I know that I'm putting in the hard work, and I know I'm not putting my self-worth into these like superficial things that don't really actually matter to me. They matter to other people, but they don't matter to me. But I do feel left behind in like, especially as a woman in medicine. It takes a lot of time.
Makes sense. Why do you say that? Like, why specifically like for women?
Because of marriage and like relationships. I feel like I have sort of sacrificed my relationships, not romantic necessarily, but like just like close relationships. So I wasn't able to really build like, I had to sacrifice that, and when I realized I was doing that, I rectified it really fast. So
but wouldn't that be the same for the male doctors as well?
No, but I feel like specifically because we have the pressure as like South Asian women.
As per the society
I feel like
to,
as Pakistani women, we have that pressure like from a young age that you have your 20s.
Okay.
And that is the time you have to get married. Then after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I sort of sometimes feel like whenever I see my friends getting married, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have put some time into,
into that as well.
aspect.
Yeah.
But then I just sit back and think about like, what do I actually think is fulfilling in my life? You know, I have goals in my life aside from that. Yeah, I might compare myself to that.
So that would be that one point where you basically compare with your other colleagues and
It's more like that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I don't really compare myself
that's
a
nice.
little bit too much.
It's actually really good for your mental peace as well to not compare yourself. So it makes sense.
That is my number one priority.
That should be everyone's number one priority, 100%. Now coming towards the USMLE match that you just had, and we're really proud of you as well. So let's talk about that. So because that journey itself is something which needs to be celebrated. But before that, like I'm sure there would have been like a lot of effort, a lot of struggle, a lot of studying, and a lot of things went behind it. So can you share what was the journey like till you reached that point?
So I always knew I wanted to go to US to do my residency, mainly because I have family there. I was born there, so I have that kind of connection. And I knew that it was it's a really like nice training environment there. You really learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I had my goal fixed that I wanted that since first year. I did have struggles with studying though.
Okay.
I feel like med school, it was just a lot, like trying to balance USMLE studying and the university.
You were doing it side by side?
I was doing everything side by side. It was like, oh, I'll give it like in a couple years or so.
This will end eventually, sometime.
I thought I would like, step one, I'll do second year. Step two, I'll do final year. And then I'll just like immediately get matched.
Okay.
No. It took me at least 2 years to settle in and be like, okay, how do I study?
Okay.
I need to start using flashcards. I looked up like spaced repetition, which is a study method.
Okay.
Which is where you review material on a certain timeline. There's a app called Anki, which a lot of medical students, every medical
This
student
is very
knows.
important information. Medical students should note that down.
So I studied how to study for the first couple of years.
That's really cool,
Because USMLE is a lot of content. Also, giving the exam is also strategic. It's not just like any ordinary exam. I was doing it all by myself, no tutors or anything. So it took me a little bit longer. I was able to give it like in final year. So like it took me a while. Because I went through a lot of hurdles in between. As I said, beach mein wo COVID aa gaya tha, third year mein. And also around the time, a little bit before COVID, I got news that my father got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh no.
So that was another just like mental stress on me. And a lot of things happened to me during that time. And COVID was actually a period when I was alone, socially isolated here, online classes. And my parents weren't here with me. They were in the US.
The parents weren't with you as well.
Yeah, my parents were in California. Mom was taking care of my father and everything. Pretty bad time. I think that was my first actual phase of burnout. In medicine.
Makes sense.
It was very,
Life was actually testing you, basically.
I feel like everybody went through a very tough time during COVID. It's not just me.
Of course, but you as you mentioned, there were multiple things as well. Like I'm sure it must be really difficult to know about your father's condition, and it must be really difficult to live without your parents as well in an isolated environment as well. Because medical itself is very hard to like study. आपको support system चाहिए होता है अपने साथ. So how did you continue showing up? Like what kept you going?
Oh, so like I remember during that time it was very difficult for me. I think I couldn't study no matter how much I wanted to. I would sit in front of my laptop for like hours trying to finish like questions, but I just couldn't. And that's when I kept trying. I wasn't burnout. I knew it. I was feeling a little bit depressed as well for the first time. And I was like, I know it's just a phase. Let me try to push through it. But I ended up wasting that year, honestly. I feel like because, and I figured this out afterwards, I had the things I had sacrificed, my social circle, my hobbies, and just like experiencing life. Those were the reasons that I was not able to actually push forward. Like I wasn't moving forward because I didn't have my life set in order properly. So I remember after the social distancing sort of loosened up, and university started up again, I was not passing my practice exams. I was like, in fourth year, I was like, you know what, let me just take a step back. I remember it was, I think I had scheduled my step 1 exam sometime in 4th year. And like I gave my last practice exam. I was like, मैं दे दूंगी, but I want to get done with it. And I failed that.
Oh.
So that was the point where I called my sister and I just told her I have my exam in like a few days and I failed. And I've been trying for almost a year and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And then she was like, just don't worry. Like, don't care about the score.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything and just like,
just do your best. Like whatever you can do
give it later.
Yeah.
So, and it's also a very expensive exam. I don't know if you know, but applying for the exam and like getting a date, it's like, it's $1,000 just to take the exam. Okay. So I had wasted money, I'd wasted time. So I felt really like an all-time low.
Makes sense.
So my like resolution for like final year was forget about USMLE, like throw away your, like don't, like just like put the books to the side and enjoy life.
Okay. Did you ever feel like, sorry I'm cutting you off, but did you ever feel like giving up on medicine during this time frame?
I feel like I had the sunk cost fallacy. And by that point, like 4th year, 5th year med school, I'm like, ab to de nahi hai.
Because you had like so much.
I was just like, how do I get out of this rut?
Makes sense, yeah.
But I did have a period, like I think first year, my first semester of med school. It was the first time I failed a module. Like I failed.
That was the time that you thought about it the most. Yeah.
I thought, yaar,
what if I just choose some other candidate rather than this?
I just told my dad, like, I failed. I don't know if I can do this.
Okay.
And he was like,
this is
no. You are going to do this.
So is this something like medicine, something which came because of like expectations and maybe like a family, like because in our culture it's very much said कि like medicine karo, or was it something which you did yourself, like you wanted to do it?
I mean, it was partially like both.
It was part, like as you said in the starting.
There was definitely a pressure from my family to be a doctor. Like my father was always like, he always wanted me to go. He wanted me to be engineer because he's an engineer. Okay. But I hated physics.
So that you didn't
I hated that stuff. I was like, I'm not going to do that. So he's like, okay, engineer to doctor ban jao.
Yeah.
I'll think about it, yeah. But I did enjoy the biology. Okay. I enjoyed human sciences. Like, I enjoyed that stuff.
As you mentioned in the start as well, like it was kind of like a calling for you because you already like helping out people and being,
My first like profession I wanted to be was actually an elementary school teacher.
Okay.
Because you work with kids.
Yeah.
My main thing was I always wanted to work with children.
Okay, that's sweet.
So that was my actual main thing.
So we like pediatrics mein aapka.
Pediatrics.
Yeah.
So I went into med school thinking I want to be a pediatrician. Okay, That was like from the get-go.
Okay.
But yeah, when I said that I wanted to be a teacher, they were like, that's funny. I was like, yeah, okay. And maybe it wasn't the best. Like,
teaching is also like a good career option. Very reputable.
I do love teaching. Like
you can actually do that even in later on in your life, even if you want to.
So that's the thing. Like I'm not really like when I say doctor is my identity, like I don't want it to be like one thing.
Of course not. Yeah.
So that's why I want to really I want to make it so that like I can do everything I want alongside a career. So like I can teach on the side. Yeah. I'm very into social work. Like my chachi, she is also a pediatrician at AKU, but she actually is very like involved in like child rights. Okay. And she's an advocate for that kind of stuff. Right. So she's like, she does a lot of social work on the side. Yeah. So I saw her and I was like, that's really cool. Yeah. It's like really badass. I want to do what she's doing. Yeah. So like I sort of like followed her.
Got inspiration.
I got inspiration from her. Yeah. So like,
I actually cut off your chain of thought where you were telling about like that time frame where you flunked your exam and you discussed it with your sister as well, and she said like take a break, and you decided कि अब थोड़ा COVID का भी scene easy हो गया है, so you can maybe focus on other aspects of your life. Can you take us through that?
I'm introverted. You don't believe me when I say that.
She's not, by the way.
This is now me. Yeah. But before I was very, very introverted.
Let's just believe that for a second and then,
So I did not have a lot of friends. I would have like 1 or 2 friends. I would just keep close and I would hang out with them. Okay. But I was never the person to like go out of my way to meet new people, go to parties or like socialize, just like go outside. I was a very homebody kind of person. And yeah, my mom was very like protective. She would not let me leave the house.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I played like video games. I was into anime.
So
I was like
more,
a very geeky kind of girl.
like a homebody and someone who stays at home more.
Yeah. I never really had that kind of penchant to actually like go up and like make new friends. But then I told you I had that phase of burnout,
Yeah.
And when I came out of that and I started final year, I was like, you know what? I think I need to reach out to people.
Okay.
I have my close friends, but I had realized like up until that point, I had never like actually shared my own struggles with them.
Okay.
My personal, like anything happening in my personal life or like, just like
that connect.
Yeah. So I had unintentionally, I don't know why, I had been avoiding that kind of like vulnerability with my friends. I remember I like just invited Andala, my best friend. I told you, the girl who made this. Like
this is, by the way, a very beautiful magazine by her best friend.
She knows me like so well.
She has basically capsuled everything about Mehreen in this magazine, where her traveling passion, the achievements, milestones that she have achieved throughout the life, and just like really nice, cute tidbits about Mehreen as well within this magazine.
She also saw my journey though. Like I wish like she could tell you about me really well.
Yeah.
Like, probably better than me. But one of the things she said, milestones that matters, I went out of my comfort zone and met people and made friends.
Oh, yeah. I read this. Like, that's pretty cool. And I was just kidding. Like, I'm sure you were an introvert and you worked on that aspect of your life, and then you became someone who you are. And that's how we connected as well, guys. So if a little bit background story regarding how me and Mehreen connected and we became friends was through social media.
Yeah, social media.
Thanks to Mehreen's social phase as well, where she was reaching out to people. So
Tereem's a blogger, like a travel blogger and everything, and I love traveling, and I also started like even uploading travel vlogs on YouTube. So I found her, I think she went to Malaysia last year around May, right? I was researching solo travel as a female to Malaysia around that time, so she came up on my feed and I sort of recognized her. She's also a senior from school times. I recognized her from that too. Yeah. We didn't know each other then. Yeah. But so I saw her and I reached out to her. I asked her like some tips and advice because I was a little iffy about going solo. But वहीं से हमारी
वहीं से we started connecting and talking, and then eventually we ended up meeting each other, and
and we immediately hit it off, which is crazy. I think we just like vibe really well.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I noticed that about you. Like our mindsets match.
100%. And I love the whole journey that she have had, and that's why I decided to bring her on my podcast today, so that you guys can also know her journey as well as learn from what she has to tell as well. Because there's a lot of things that we can learn from it, especially like the med students. हम उनसे like they can take a lot of inspiration, and apart from the medical students, like in general life can there whenever things come up, whenever things get messy, how you can revert back to that, and that's what we're coming back to as well. Like so much happened and you took that break where your sister suggested it. So how did you come back from that, and did you learn the resilience what did you learn about resilience, that it's not always motivation, you need other factors as well, so if you can elaborate on that.
I realized that I had people, but I didn't really confide in them. That was one thing. Just in my mind, I had sort of rejected just like enjoying life naturally. Like, koi bula rahe mujhe kahin jaane pe. So I was like, nahin, I have to study, or like, I have a break and I could utilize that to travel, but I'm like, no, let me just stay at home, save money.
Makes sense. Who saves money, bro? Like you only live once.
When you're in your 20s, I'm like, why was I not living in my 20s? So I realized that kind of stuff.
Makes sense.
So I became like this social butterfly. Like in final year, I started like just like talking to more friends, like talking to people, like going to their friend groups, inviting them to my house. Like I had like a Halloween party.
Amazing.
I love costumes. Like as I told you, I was a geek, so I cosplayed when I was younger. And Halloween's always been my favorite holiday because you just get to dress up. Yeah. So I had like a Halloween party with my friends. I had a Friendsgiving, which is like, you invite friends over for Thanksgiving dinner. So I did that. I would like make like my Korean fried chicken for my friends. Just like invite people over and like, have a good time. Play some Mario Kart and just like, have a nice time. And then my friends were like, oh my God, like we always wanted to be friends with you, but like you just felt so out of reach. And I was like, yeah, sorry, that's my bad, actually.
I actually get it because I know few more people like in the same field, and they tend to do that, like isolate themselves completely, so that even if we want to be friends with them, it's really gets in the way, like of because we also understand like they're in their own journey and they're like focusing on that. But I believe that this side of your life is also very important to keep you motivated for the other side of your life, right? Otherwise, it just get really depressing and lonely. In a way.
Yeah, I experienced it, and I'm telling you, it doesn't work. No matter how long you try to get through it, you need your people, you need your social support. So actually, I became more social, like a social butterfly. I practiced being more vulnerable with the people who were already close to me, who I knew that I already trusted. But so I remember I invited Andala just outside. We usually would just like go, two of us, like just like a bestie date. We went to like TDF Kar. Have you been there?
Yeah, I have been there.
Yeah, that, I was like, okay, I made like a resolution in my head. I'm going to tell her about the tough time I had. Like in COVID, in burnout.
Okay.
And I was
at the TDF Kar?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I have to do this. This is my first, I'm practicing.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and we were talking, and then I just like brought it up, like, hey, I actually had a really rough time, like past few months. And then she was like, she was sad. She was like, oh, okay, tell me more. This is the first time Mehreen's opening up like this. And then I just told her, okay, ye sab hua hai, my dad's cancer. And then like I opened up to her about so many things. And she's like my best friend, like my longest friend, probably like the most stable, healthy relationship I have in my life.
Mashallah,
Mashallah.
You definitely need one of those like gems.
She's also like a psychology major. Like she's like my personal therapist. So I don't take advantage of her that way, but she's just like
plus
that
points.
kind of person.
Yeah, get it.
So she was a perfect person to practice on. So and then from there, I just like started doing it with more people. I remember, and then I did it with you, the questions, right?
Yeah, the questions. You will talk about those questions,
So when I want to do something, I study, I research. So I was like, how do I become more emotionally available, So I would go on YouTube, and there's so much free therapy on YouTube.
Yeah.
I love it. And I came across this channel that does like face-to-face conversations like this with two people close to each other, where they'll be like partners, friends, or sisters, siblings. And they do a series of questions to connect with each other. And,
technically, we are doing that.
Yeah.
I'm asking you questions, you are answering them.
Pretty much. It's like that, but it's more deep. The focus is on being vulnerable with people close to you. So I would watch that, sort of get inspiration. I was like, oh, so this is how you talk about your feelings.
This is how you open up with people. Okay, like, not doing that.
I was like an emotionally unavailable guy, I was like that. I didn't know how to talk about my feelings. So I'd watch that and I would be like, I like these questions. They're actually very, very introspective, very nice questions. And I also like, I love like, I've been very introspective, like as a child.
Actually mentioned to me that you love journaling and writing down stuff. So can you tell us, like, what did it tell, like doing that, like journaling yourself, what did it tell you about yourself?
So because I wouldn't share my problems, I needed a safe space to let out. So I have an online journal, like to this day. I think I started when I came to Pakistan, like when I was 12 or 13, around that time, I was going through a lot because I left my home in US. I came here, a new culture, new people. I don't know the language, which Urdu nahi aati thi bilkul bhi. So it was a very, very tough time. So I needed to just like let it out. And I would just like type on my journal whenever I felt something pent up. And I would put it into words because I was also like a good writer. Like people would say, oh, you're really good at descriptive writing. I agree. Yeah, you should be like a writer. And my dad was like, haha. They're like, that's not happening. We know it's only going to be. But like I had these things in me. So like I was like, maybe I should utilize it. So I feel like having that habit since I was a teenager was so, so valuable.
Makes sense.
Because now I understand myself way better. When I'm going through something internally, I can articulate it.
Okay.
Like, maybe it takes me a little while to type it out.
Okay.
Like, I still have trouble with my words sometimes. I'm much better now, but I have a better understanding of my mind network now.
I get you, because a lot of people, like whoever, even the therapist suggests कि आपको अपनी feelings या चीजें, you should write it down, and even when you're angry, rather than taking it out on different things, you can just write down your feelings, and maybe it gives you more perspective, right?
And I think
but let me tell you one thing, that it's not something very easy. Like, it sounds very easy. You can just write down your things and feelings and all that.
My sister, like, when she gets very emotional, so I was like, why don't you just write it down? And she's like, I don't know what to write.
Exactly. I was just coming to that, because it never got to me. I wanted to be a journalist as well. Like, not a journalist, but someone who can write down their feelings and just journal whenever, like my day or something like that. But I could never do that. So I didn't understand how to do that. So it's something which doesn't come to everyone, I would also say. So that's like a good plus thing that you learned at very, very early age.
Yeah, it's very... I still do that sometimes when I have very, very like emotional days.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
do you also think that people nowadays also avoid sitting with their emotions?
Yes. We just go to scrolling. We just go
definitely,
to
doom scrolling, junk dopamine,
or like we need to like sit with friends. We can't just sit alone and just like be in silence.
Yeah.
That's another very big hobby of mine. I love just like sitting, people watching.
Okay.
Like I would do that during my burnout phase actually.
All right.
I would just go to the park. मैं फाल्के में रही थी उस वक्त. So it was like very secure.
Yeah.
I would just sit at the park and I would sit and just like people watch kids play in the park and just like breathe, think.
Yeah.
I'm a big overthinker too.
Yeah.
So I need my moments. Like it was like sort of meditative time for me.
Makes sense.
Like I wasn't like doing like yoga, but like it was like
it's
just
really
me
nice.
time.
Yeah.
It was just me time.
Being observationalist, or what do you call it?
Observationalist. I like it.
Observationalist.
I like it. Yeah.
Like being an observant person in better English. So I've also noticed that it actually helps you out a lot, like in like dealing
Being
with people,
present.
being present, and also like in circles, like social circles as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You are able to read people better and understand.
Yeah, I feel like that's... Yeah, so... I don't know, I really like sitting with myself. Like, I can't relate to people
Definitely,
like that.
I agree. Like, this is very important aspect, and a lot of people and youngsters, I would say, tend to avoid sitting with their emotions and their own thoughts and everything. And because they have an easy way out, they can
honestly,
just
they're
doom
born in a
scroll
very like tough, time where
that's also true.
There's such like instant, superficial like gratification that they don't really know anything other than this. Like,
but but then the cases for depression, anxiety, and all of these is because of that only. Like, I think it's important. Like, people should have like self-awareness and self knowing journeys, something like that, like about themselves. And for that, they need to sit with मुझे ADHD factor भी बढ़ता गया, like एक चीज से दूसरी चीज पे jump करना and everything. So wrapping this segment or section up, I would actually like to talk about something which is basically you have lived two lives, I would say, because you have
double
life. So you have like spent half of your life in America and basically you do live there right now as well, but you also belong to Karachi because you have like studied over here, you have like, you just come here for vacations as well. So I would like to know your thoughts on, do you feel like that you belonged everywhere and nowhere at the same time? What's the scene like?
That is sort of my mindset now. So when I first came to Karachi, I definitely felt homesick for quite a long time. Pakistan did not feel like home for a long time.
Makes sense.
I feel like, but that was also, I feel like, because I was stopping myself from experiencing life.
Okay.
The change happened, I think, in final year. When I had started actually going out of my comfort zone and making like very core memories. Just like those new experiences were very integral to my growth.
Makes sense.
So I had the most growth in Karachi, and I feel like it's formed who I am the most.
Right.
So I guess now I say that Karachi is my home.
Okay.
Like, there was a period, probably like 10 years. Like, I was like, I don't know where I am.
Where do you belong? Like,
I don't feel home in California. I don't feel home in Karachi. I'm just like, I'm just like a
random person, like
nomad on this earth.
Nomad, exactly.
But then now I'm like, no. I finally I have that kind of sense of belonging to Karachi.
Do you also think that kind of shaped you who you are today as well?
Exactly.
Like belonging to two different parts of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's a very core thing about who I am. Like I am so good at adapting now. Like
that's true. That's
it
true.
was
Yeah, that's
really,
one of them.
Adapting. Like I've moved to Karachi and then I moved back to US. That was also like a reverse culture shock. But then like it got easier. I was like, okay, I can now like, it doesn't matter where you put me on earth. I'm pretty sure I can adjust.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'll make friends. I'm pretty sure I can, connect with people.
Okay.
Like I feel like it's something I'm very grateful for.
That's amazing.
Like a lot of people are like, "Yeah, tum kahan aa gaye?" Like Karachi, like don't you wish you could have just like stayed in US? I'm like, never.
Because most of us are trying to escape to different countries.
Yeah, everybody's trying to escape. And like when I left, I was like, yeah, no, I feel like I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
I feel like
Pakistan has its own vibe, and obviously it's like home.
Karachi specifically, like I know it's a rough place to be, but like
Karachi is Karachi.
Karachi is Karachi.
I completely. No words needed for this.
Exactly.
So now that we have like talked about some intense and interesting stuff about you and your life, I will have a little light segment, which is basically like a rapid fire round. I will be asking you some questions, and you have to answer very quickly whatever comes in top of your head. Basically, you must be aware about the rapid fire that happens, right?
Yeah.
So are you ready for it?
Let's go.
Perfect. Let's do it. Okay, so the first question from your the human side of doctor, which is Dr. Mehreen. First question is, one thing medicine taught you about life?
That it's very fragile.
That it's very fragile.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
and
nice.
you should be grateful for every day.
Please note this. One thing life taught you about, outside medicine?
That you understanding yourself is the most important thing.
Makes sense.
Like if you are lost within yourself, you're going to be lost in life, no matter where you try to find it.
Very well put.
If you understand yourself, you will be fine in life. Like you'll be set, no matter what life throws at you. So, yeah.
Very wise, very wise. The next question is, a place that feels like home? Karachi. Makes sense. A hobby that reconnects you to yourself? That's interesting. There are a lot of hobbies I know this girl has.
I have so many. I know it's a very tough one.
Yeah.
Dancing.
Ooh, I haven't seen. Oh, I've seen you dance.
Of course, you've seen me dance.
Yeah.
She's seen me dance a lot. But dancing is like I'm just so happy when I dance. I feel so confident. Like I don't care who's watching me.
Yeah.
And like
that's beautiful, actually. Yeah.
I feel like dancing is my biggest
Makes
hobby.
sense.
Yeah.
Coming to the next question, one emotion you struggled expressing as growing up?
Anger.
You struggle expressing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
Like
feel
when
more
I'm upset.
comfortable expressing it?
Now I feel comfortable.
Like being upset is different than
Like
being
upset
angry.
and I guess showing it.
Okay.
And sometimes it's okay to be angry and okay to like I'm never like disrespectful in that kind of sense, but like standing up for yourself and being stern.
Yeah.
That was
Speaking your mind, basically.
Speaking your mind.
Yeah.
That was something that I really struggled with growing up. I was very like timid, shy growing up.
Makes sense. Comfort is greater than achievement, or achievement is greater than comfort?
Achievement is greater than comfort. If you're living a comfortable life, I feel like you're not living life to the fullest.
I agree. I think I agree.
Discomfort is what makes life actually like worth living. I know it's like weird, like you want. No, I would choose like I went through so much discomfort in my life, and that's why I am who I am.
Makes sense. 100%.
I've been comfortable. I would be very boring. One thing, comfort is very boring to me.
Definitely, I agree with you. Like to achieve something, you need to be like out of your comfort zone for sure.
Exactly.
That's the reality of the life. You can't like you can achieve things in your comfort zone as well, but to a certain level. Yeah. So moving to the next question, and I'm really excited to know the answer as well. Journaling or conversations? Choose one.
Like journaling is what got me to actually deep conversations any day.
But you're choosing conversations. Okay,
it's a different thing being face to face, someone talking.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
I love
the dopamine that you get while talking to people.
That is like journaling. Like by
it's
myself.
for your own self, yeah.
That was like the baby steps, you know? But now I'm like, oh no.
Interesting.
I love, like, that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. So, like, I have conversations with people close to me.
Now, the second last questions, we are almost towards the end. One thing you wish more doctors openly talked about?
Their failures. And how, like, we're not extraordinary people.
Yeah.
We're very ordinary, which is a good thing that we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Like you did it with Wakas as well.
I kind of want to add to this as well. Like there are a lot of doctors who have achieved like a certain stature in their life. Like they have experiences and they have like obviously years of experience and everything. And once they become like something like unka naam ban jata hai, they start acting like even celebrities se bhi, I would say, difficult. Why is that? Like I think that's my point of view.
Yeah, I feel like I love it when people are open with their flaws. Like, I feel like that's what makes you human. So, like, just like, you know, stop it. It's a facade.
Sorry for taking your answer.
It's all a facade. We're very ordinary people.
Yeah, now the last question of this segment is basically, what gives you peace lately?
Gives me peace. I don't know, I'm just grateful for like every day that I have. Like I'm just peaceful like looking at the ocean like today. Like I'm peaceful. Yeah, I've had a lot of alone time this vacation.
So yeah.
I'm just at peace when I'm just like sitting alone, when I'm listening to music. Like I'm at peace majority.
Anything that you basically are saying, anything that you do by yourself that gives you peace.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of peace.
Makes sense. Thank you so much once again, Mehreen, for joining me on this podcast and sharing such beautiful life journey that you have had. And सबके साथ आपने बहुत interesting tips and चीजें भी share करी हैं on the way. Like I'm sure a lot of people would take some great advice and tips from here, and it will help them in their own life as well. We hope for that, and I also wish you all the best for whatever the life holds for you as well. Like जो भी आप life में करो, I wish you all the best. We are always here for you in Karachi whenever you come here.
Of course.
So that's that. So coming towards the end of this podcast, basically, if there's any one thing that you would want whoever is watching our podcast today to take out of this conversation that we have had, what would that be?
That take it easy on yourself, no matter what you're doing. Lean on the people around you. That's the most important thing. I feel like the quality of your life is very dependent on the quality of your relationships with the people close to you.
Makes sense.
So take a leap of faith, even that's a very small thing. I started off with very small steps, and now I can't believe like who I am now and like what I'm capable of now. Yeah. So never underestimate yourself, and
Thank you so much. That's beautiful advice, and we loved having you over here. So one last thing that I make every guest of mine do before we end this is you have to basically look in the camera, point at the camera like this, and say, keep watching One-on-One by TB. We will say it together. So on the count of 3, ready? Okay. What do we have to say?
Keep watching One-on-One by
TB. Yeah. So okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Keep watching One-on-One by TB.
One-on-One by TV.